Maya texted me yesterday asking if she could borrow $1,000 for a security deposit. And I said no. Which sounds harsh, but listen. 2 years ago, I would have said yes immediately, put it on my credit card, and then stressed about it for 3 months while she paid me back in these weird little chunks like $73 one week and $40 the next. But I have $22,000 in my savings account now. And here's the weird part. Having that money made it easier to say no, not harder. Because I finally get what that money is actually for. And it's not for bailing people out every time they ask. Even people I love. Even my best friend who's still sleeping on my couch. I'm Sophia. I spend way too much time thinking about money and wine. And honestly, both at the same time. And I'm not a financial advisor or anything, just someone who climbed out of a credit card hole and got kind of obsessed with figuring this stuff out. Your situation is different than mine, obviously, but I need to tell you about this $20,000 thing because it genuinely changed how I think about everything, and nobody explains it this way. So here's what I mean. Most people think about savings as this linear thing, right? You save $1,000, then $2,000, then $5,000, then $10,000, and it's all just the same vibe, just bigger numbers. But that's not how it actually works in your real life. Hitting $20,000 isn't just double of $10,000. It's a completely different financial reality. It's the point where money stops feeling like this fragile thing you're desperately protecting and starts feeling like an actual tool you can use to build more money. And I didn't get that until I got there. When I had like $8,000 saved, I was so proud of myself. I was. That was more money than I'd ever had that wasn't already assigned to rent or my Amex payment or whatever. But I was also terrified to touch it. I wouldn't even move it out of my checking account because I was scared that if I put it somewhere I couldn't see it every day, I would forget it existed and accidentally spend it. Which is insane, but that's genuinely how I felt. I was in this scarcity thing where I thought the only option was to hoard it and hope nothing bad happened. And then I hit 20,000, and something shifted. Not because 20,000 is some magic number the universe cares about, but because it's enough money to actually do 2 things at once. I could keep an emergency fund and start investing. I could cover myself if my laptop died and still put money into my Roth IRA that month. I had options, plural. For the first time in my adult life, I wasn't choosing between security and growth. I could have both. That's the thing nobody tells you. Finance people are always like, save 3 to 6 months of expenses, start investing as early as possible, whatever. But they never tell you that for most people, those 2 goals are in direct competition until you hit a certain threshold. If your emergency fund is $3,000 and you're putting $500 a month into index funds, you're 1 bad month away from having to sell those investments at a loss to cover an emergency. You're not actually building wealth. You're just moving money around and praying nothing goes wrong. But once you have $20,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account earning you like 4.3%, you have room to breathe. You can put $1,000 a month into your brokerage account and not feel like you're gambling with your rent money. You can say no to Maya when she asks to borrow money. Because you're not saying no out of fear that you'll need it next week. You're saying no because you finally have a plan for that money that's bigger than just surviving. You're playing a different game now. And the compound effect kicks in differently too. When you're investing $200 a month, the market going up 10% that year gets you like $240. Cool, that's a nice dinner. But when you have $20,000 invested and the market goes up 10%, that's $2,000 you didn't have to work for. That's a full paycheck for some people. That's the point where your money starts working harder than you do on a random Tuesday, and you can actually feel it happening. I remember the first time I checked my brokerage account and saw that I'd made $1,500 in a month just from the market going up. And I literally texted Bianca like, "Is this real? Is this allowed?" Because it felt like cheating. It felt like I'd hacked into a system that was only supposed to work for people who started with way more money than me. But that's what happens when you cross that threshold. You stop being someone who's trying to save money, and you become someone who has money that's making more money. The math is the same, but the psychological shift is huge. Also, and this is the part that kind of pissed me off when I figured it out, people treat you differently when they know you have money. Not just friends asking to borrow it, but like everyone. I went to open a new credit card last month because I wanted the travel points, and the guy at the bank saw my savings account balance and immediately started talking to me about wealth management services and private banking and all this stuff he definitely wasn't saying to me 2 years ago when I had $600 and a maxed out Amex. Same person, same bank, different number in the account. Suddenly I'm worth his time, which is honestly kind of gross. But also useful because now I know that the system is designed to reward people who already have money. And if I want access to better interest rates, better investment options, better everything, I have to play by those rules. I don't have to like it. I just have to understand it and use it. So if you're sitting at like 5,000 or 10,000 right now, and you're wondering if you should start investing or keep saving, my answer is, keep saving until you hit 20. I know that's not the sexy answer. I know you want me to say, start investing today. Time in the market beats timing the market, all that stuff. And that's true. But it's also true that you can't build wealth if you're constantly in crisis mode. You need a foundation first. You need enough money that losing your job or your car breaking down isn't an existential threat. And for most people, that number is somewhere around $20,000. After that, go crazy. Max out your Roth, buy index funds, start a brokerage account. Build the life you actually want. But get to 20 first. That's when everything changes.